Oh yeah, hi everyone. Okay, so let me just introduce myself. I'm Guan Hua. Okay, I'll be sharing today's session. Thanks for being here. I know it's 4 p.m. I'm sorry for starting a bit later. We'll be sharing our JC subject combination. And then more importantly, to bring value to everyone here and to our online audience, is that we want everyone to know about, what to expect in JC, what kind of subject to take, what kind of university courses are there out there, and more importantly, to get into those courses, what kind of subject do we need? And I will even show you guys the grades, right? To see, what kind of grades do you need to do well, how well do you need to do to get into those courses. And for my online students, okay, this is a hybrid session, so I just have a small live audience here. Earlier on, we had session 1 when we was fully packed. So sometimes I might not be looking at the camera, I might be looking at my live audience, so just bear with me for that. Okay, currently I see 25 participants. Okay, earlier on we got 60 over plus about 20 live audience. So overall, I think we got about 100 people attending today's session. Let me get started so as not to waste your time. Okay. We are going to spend, I know it's a bit late, sorry, this one. It's a bit late, so I'll just spend the next 15 minutes talking about JC Live and the subject combination. Following which from 4:30 or maybe 4:35, we will get the different tutors for Overmark to share about different subjects. Just to introduce our tutors for today, we have Kai Wen teaching math, we have Max teaching bio, Dixon geography, Pamela chemistry and physics, and of course we'll be sharing about other subjects as well. So very interestingly is that a lot of tutors, they have varied working experience. They have been working outside for quite a number of years, not just in teaching, but in other industries. So based on this research, we try to understand what kind of jobs are available to students, right? And within 2 years, okay, in fact, by the end of next year, many of you will be thinking about which university course to apply for. So it's good for me to show you, okay, what jobs are there available out there. So by looking at the job stats, what kind of courses are there at university, and what do you need to do to prepare yourself to get into those courses. First of all, just share you a little bit about JC Life. Okay, for many of you, including those in the IP program, I think you'll have a very good time in your secondary school life. JC is very short. It's really 2 years. And in 2 years, you must take your A-levels. It's unlike secondary school where you got 4 years to you can spend the first 2 years playing or even the first 3 years playing and last years to study. JC is very packed and you all really need to study right from the start. However, I just want everyone to know that, JC life is not just about studying, it's not just about grades, but there are more to it. Okay, let me share you a bit about myself. Okay, this is me. Okay, I mean, I look a bit very nerdy back in my JC days. I'm the guy, the shorter guy. Yeah, I did LASIK a few years ago, so now I'm not wearing my spec. What did I do in JC? My subject combination was actually arts combination, HELM. Later, I'll get my friend Kai Wen to share about his science combination, right? He's actually a math tutor here, so he shared experience doing science. Personally, in JC, I did sailing. Okay, I love sports. I'm an outdoor person. Okay, so I have a health and fitness club. I was also partly an environmentalist, right? I'm an Earthwatch. And I enjoy my time a lot in JC because I chose the subject that I like. I enjoy history. Okay, I enjoy economics. Even now, when I'm talking about economics and history to my friends, I really feel the passion for it. So to me, learning about history and economics allow me to understand the world better, allow me to even plan my finance well. So personally, one of the things I do is I actually trade stock in the stock market, and this is my side hustle. Okay, because of my knowledge that I learned from economics and even a bit of history, they help me make certain decisions as a working adult today. Economics help understand what happened in Singapore. For instance, inflation, okay, supply chain disruption, allow you to understand the job market out there. So these are some things that even my subject helped me. So the subject that I do are subjects that I'm truly passionate about. They are not just subjects that help me to get into university, but they're really subjects that teach me values, skills, and even knowledge that prepare me for my adult life. So that's me. Okay, I had a lot of fun in JC. Okay, of course I look a bit better on prom. And now I'll get the other tutor, Kai Wen, okay, to share more about his JC life. Okay, so just give me a moment. Okay, Kai Wen will now come in to share about his JC life. And Kai Wen can share his experience, okay, from a science perspective. So today's session, you realize we get different tutors in so that we can share both the science, arts, and even the individual subject. Okay, so Kai Wen will now share about his journey in JPJC.
Hello. Okay, so for those that are here, my name is Kaiwen. So later I'll talk more about the H2 math side. So I'm the math tutor. So for now, I'll just talk a little bit about my life in JC. So as Guang Hua mentioned, I'm from JPJC, but actually I'm from JJC because my JC merged with Pioneer. So last time I was from Jurong Junior College, sorry. Okay, so just to share some pictures that I put up here, and basically just to share a bit of my life and what I did during my JC time. So for me, when I finished secondary school, I was pretty happy, and then I did okay for my A's or for my O's. Then I went to JC. So I chose JJ, and actually this was my orientation group. So I believe if you're in JC right now, next week should be your orientation. Okay, so you go and have party. Then after 3 to 4 days, then they'll throw you straight into lecture already, and then you will start your official grind for A levels. This was my JC class. So got interesting story about my JC class, but I'm not going to share it online because the story will be sus. So if you're interested in what happened to my JC class, you can look for me separately. I tell you what happened. No, but nothing bad, just interesting stuff. Okay, so during JC as well, I was in a CCA. So for some schools, CCA is actually not a compulsory thing, but for mine, wasn't compulsory. But because I wanted to continue my passion, which was music, so I continued on in band. So yeah, there's some more photos of me. Okay, some things I did was I did orientation. So I was one of the rara people for orientation. I met quite a lot of friends there. Actually, I have friends from orientation that until now, I've graduated in 2016, and now it's like 2023. I still meet them. Yeah, so I think one thing that I really take away from JC was that, there's a common saying out there that your JC friends, your secondary school friends are actually friends that will really last for a very, very, very long period of time. Yeah, so cherish the memories that you're going to make with these people around you. Okay, so when you go into JC, right, a lot of people will form like study groups. A lot of people will go to CCA, go and have fun. Then your classes, you'll start to bond with your classmates as well because everyone comes from a different background. Okay, so keep these people around you, study as hard as you can for A levels. It's just going to be like another 2 years of O levels again, but of course the difficulty ramped up significantly. So later the subject tutors will actually share about their subjects and how different is it from O levels. And yeah, so if you have any questions about my JC life, you can look for me. If not, I'll pass back the time to Guang Hua, continue the talk.
Yeah, so personally for me, I had a very good time in JC. It's not just about studying. Okay, I had a lot of fun, made a lot of friends. Some of my friends are still my friends even when, yeah, as an adult, right? I still have these friends. We study together, it's 2 years. You have a lot of fun, you go and play, go hang out. You know, every JC, we go to East Coast Park, go to the beach, go there and cycle. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, so just remember, in JC, I know it's 2 years, but there are friends that will probably will be your friends for life, some of them, right? And also, you might network with some of them. They might be your boss next time. You might do a business together. You never know. They also give you different experience, lah. So very importantly, right? To me in JC, it's about building up your resume and portfolio in other ways as well. The CCA you choose matter a lot. Okay, the CCA you choose matter a lot because many of you will be doing internship. Some of you will be going for like things like medical society. They can help you in your medical degree. So think about all these small little things. Part-time job can teach you certain lessons also. So it's just about preparing a portfolio. It's no longer just O-level where a teacher do everything for you. In JC, you must prepare your own portfolio so that you can convince an employer to give you a scholarship or even get in the university. You have interviews, right, for certain jobs, right? SMU law requires you guys to go through an interview. Medical school also, so you need to prepare for all these things. So you need to interact, you need to learn to survive on your own, right? So to be more independent from your parents, you must be able to pick out certain life skills. What are popular subject combination in schools? Of course, many of you will choose PCME, BCME. But before you choose all this, let me explain to you all about the ranking point system. When you apply for university course in Singapore, they will look at something called ranking points. Ranking points is out of 90. How do they count? Your 3H2. H2 means 20 points each. So that's 60 points, right? GP 10 points, project work 10 points. The last 10 points come from H1 subject. Some of you will be doing 4H2. So what they do is that your weakest H2, the points will divide by 2. Okay, so overall it's still 90 points. Of course, I would say that to get into a good university course, try to aim for like 82 and above or 83 and above. Okay, try to aim for straight A's. If not A for AABB, okay, or even a AABC. So usually my advice is at least aim for 2 A's if you want to get the most university courses. I'll show you the breakdown later to let you all know the entry. Of course, not all courses need 4 A's, okay? So a lot of courses you just need 2 A's, 2 B's is good enough. So I'll show you some of the courses requirement. The most common course is PCME and BCME. For us students, will be GERM, Geography, Econ, Literature, Math. Okay, and of course, History, Econ, Literature, Math. Very few people do History and Geography because it's quite content heavy. Yeah, so this is quite common. Okay, but I know a student who done that before. How do you plan for university? Well, your subject combination matters a lot. So I'm going to show you all what is out there. Okay, you understand the tutors in Overmark, a lot of them have their varied working experience. They work in different places before. So they actually know what's the market out there. And I did talk to my friends to know what job out there, how much are you earning, what kind of jobs are there a lot of vacancies, things like that. I try to find out so as to bring value to you all, right? So you also must know what's out there. Engineering is a very big thing in Singapore. The government is trying to encourage more people to do engineering, especially in the space of aerospace. Why? Because now we are building T5. Singapore want to be an aerospace hub. A lot of planes are going to come in to be repaired, to be serviced, and they need a lot of aerospace engineering. You all know T5 is huge. Okay, it's really huge. It will provide a lot of jobs. So there's even this Bachelor of Engineering in Aerospace and second major in business. So they even have all these double major where they teach you business skills. Okay, engineering, aerospace got data analytics. It's a very big thing. Okay, bioengineering. Singapore is trying to be a biomedical hub. We are trying to encourage people to be bioengineers. So that's another big thing. I have friends working in Tuas in Jurong Island. You know Jurong Island, a petrochemical refinery. Singapore companies are actually hiring chemical engineers. The salaries are very high, but of course you need to work in Jurong Island. A more generic engineering would be things like mechanical engineering. So these are engineering courses. Medicine, very popular, right? A lot of parents say you'll be a doctor or a lawyer. Of course, it's not the only career option. Most of the time, you need to get 4 A's. Okay, you need to get 4 A's, or straight A's basically. And even a lot of my friends got straight A's, they didn't get to medical school. It's difficult to get in. Straight A's alone will not get you into medical school. You need to pass the interview. You need a very good job resume, a portfolio. Very importantly, you must be able to try to get an internship so as to show that you got your medical experience. Okay, so think about all these things. You must be able to get certain experiences out. So all these are things you must know. Okay, your resume and other things. Of course, many of you in your JC, you all have something called Medical Society, so you can consider that as well. You must have a good CCA record. You have the right values. Remember, doctors not about earning money, but about saving life. So do not go in for the wrong reason. So let me show you this. Okay, in part 2 of your application process, they actually ask for your portfolio. So about your internship, your other experiences, how you able to market yourself as a person, and whether you have the true values and passion for this job. Law. Please make sure you get an A for GP. Most people I know get A, like 95% of people get A for GP. You don't get a law school. You need 4 A's. Sometimes I know of people who get 3 A's, 1 B, they do get in. I know people got AA, B, C. SMU is very open, you can actually get interview there. So I think it's possible, but usually they say you play safe, get 4 A's and an A in GP. Law, right? Your subject combination doesn't matter, but of course GPA is very important. And a lot of art students, right? HERM, GERM, they want to get in law school. So because in humanities, it trains you in argument, in reasoning, in writing good essays with good evidence, right? So a lot of art students actually consider law school, but of course you get 4 A's. Of course, science students, a lot of them are also in law school. So just saying that it's something that I find a preference, top preference for art student, right? Because art student cannot be doctors, right? You need like chemistry at least, right? So a lot of them actually want to choose law. For business school, it's very popular. Okay, very, very popular. Entry is very competitive. Generally, AABB. Okay, 2 A's, 2 B can get into business school. It is difficult. I know it's fun. You can learn finance, marketing, HR. A lot of my friends went to business school. my parents, right, typical Asian mom, keep nagging at me, asked me to get a business school, but I had to spend a long time to convince them that I'd rather study like history, political science, and the things that I like. So yeah, business school is something that you all can consider. Next, okay, this is not a degree, but it's actually the largest employer in Singapore, which is the government, the public sector. So some of you upon graduation, you all might not want to work for a company, you all might want to work for a government. You can be a diplomat, you can work in Singapore Tourism Board, you can work in like many areas in government, like MPark, we love like the forest and things like that. We love our national, our landscape. Okay, you can consider all these jobs, right? So it's very open, very big. There's a lot of subject combination that will work fine for those careers. You do not need to specialize in anything, but of course, there are specialized roles. So even in a public service, they do employ people who are good in data analytics. They employ people who are good in coding, computing. They hire engineers. They for teaching, of course, your relevant subject will be important. A lot of people with political science degree and history degree end up being diplomats. So do consider economics, right? They hire a lot of people for the various public policy role. Now, admission requirements. This slide is going to scare you all, but don't be too scared. Like what I said, if you all need support, okay, the tutors at Overmark will help you all. But this is the reality. Most university courses need a lot of A's. Law 4 A's, medicine 4 A's, dentistry 4 A's, straight A's. Engineering, some people say BB, B, C can get you in. So generally, like make sure you get B for most subjects. Business analytics, computer science, all 4 A's. Information system, 3 A's, 1 B. Right, that's the reality. Usually AA, BB, or AA for data science and economics. Okay. Food science and technology, 4 A's. So this is the reality out there. There's a competition out there. Okay, humanities and sciences, A, B, B, C. This is actually a big difference. Okay, during my time, I think B, B, C, C. I think at one point, 3 Bs can get you into a humanities course. Now they're even looking for A, B, B, C. Pharmacy, PPE, philosophy, politics, economics, 4 A's. Business, generally speaking, AA, BB can get you into business school. So this is a reality out there. Now, I'm going to show you another picture. Look at this slide. The latest uni graduate salary. I show you these not because I want you to think that money is everything. Okay, money is not everything. I think more importantly, your passion for your career. There's no point earning a lot of money and then you don't enjoy your job. So personally, I think even the tutors at Overmark, a lot of them will just tell you they love teaching, they really have passion. So I think very importantly, right, the course that you choose, right, make sure you love it. Don't just look at for money. But this, of course, gives you a very realistic understanding of you still need to feed your family next time, right? So it's quite realistic, pragmatic view of looking at your career. And also, I just want you all to take a look at those that have high salary. So take a look at IT, digital technology. Take a look at law school. So there's a reason why those degrees requires you to get 4 A's. Because Singaporeans are quite pragmatic. So a lot of people go there. Okay, they want to enter law school, want to be a doctor, they want to do IT, computer engineering because of those salary. So it does reflect in terms of grade. But of course, like what I said, passion is more important. Do what you like, not because you can earn a lot of money. There's no point earning a lot of money and being miserable in your job. You can ask any of the tutors in Overmark. I think a lot of them come in like passion, they really love their job. And that's what makes the job meaningful. Last, I'm going to talk about this discretionary admission. Okay, this is actually, a lot of you O-level, right? Some of you got what? DSA. Okay, I just want to put this on paper. DSA in the university, they don't call it DSA. It's just called discretionary admission. It is very uncommon. Most people don't get into uni through discretionary admission. 99% of the time, you look at your grades. I know SMU is a bit more open when you look at your overall portfolio. So leadership experience, your CCA do help, but grades are still very important. It's only when like all things being equal, they might look at your CCA record. But just let you all know, grades are really the one thing to look at. For scholarship, however, being good in your CCA and everything is very important. But of course, when you all do volunteer work, please do it for passion. Please do it because you serve the community. Don't do it because you look good on resume. I don't think that's the point of volunteering. So of course, do consider all this. Now, at this next slide, I just want to show you the support that Overmark can give you. For Overmark, you go to the website, you notice there's a lot of trial lesson. Okay, don't worry, we actually put a brochure in your goodie bag. You can scan a QR code. Yeah, and look at different trial session. Our tutors are always here to support you all. There are free notes and even YouTube video occasionally. So do get in our Telegram channel. Later I'll show you. Okay, there's actually we actually show you the notes available. Okay, the J1 lessons are to prepare you for your JC Life. They are free, completely free. You even get free notes at the end of the session. Both physical and online options are available. For chemistry, 12 February, Sunday, 9 to 10:30 a.m. Hougang Spatial. There's a night version, 8 p.m. at Bukit Timah. H2 chemistry. For H2 physics, 10 Feb at Hougang, 8 p.m. 12 Feb, Bukit Timah, 6:30 p.m. So very common, right? Physics chem. So think about this. Okay, so there's nothing to lose. Just, you can come learn more about the subject and also see what the tutors can offer you. Anyway, you get to go back with free notes. Economics. Okay, it's a very common subject. A lot of you are taking PCME, BCME. 24th Feb, there'll be a free econs lesson. Okay, 5 p.m., 5 to 7. H2 math. Okay, there's a few options. 21st Feb at Jurong East, 7 p.m. 22nd Feb, Kovan, 5 p.m. 25th Feb, Bukit Timah, 9 a.m. There's many centers, so choose the one nearest to your house. It's not just Bukit Timah. Geography, 12 Feb, Bukit Timah, 1 p.m. A week later, 19 Feb at Bukit Timah, which is over here. Bio, 11 Feb, 3 p.m. at Toa Payoh. So those who live around the area, Toa Payoh is an option. Very convenient. Near all the centers are near MRT, just let you all know. General paper, 12 Feb, 12:30 p.m. at Toa Payoh. Okay, so do find that a center that is close to you that you enjoy going. Just want you guys to think about this quote, right, by Eleanor Roosevelt. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. So at JC Life, you are no longer like O-level kids, okay? So prepare for the future. Think ahead. Plan your life. Plan what you want to do in JC. Have a good time. More importantly, enjoy learning. Do not just study until, very miserable. I can convince you that, I can assure you that the tutors in Overmark try to make lesson fun. But also in school, make lesson fun for yourself. Okay, enjoy learning, go find a small group, study together. Think ahead, think of your career. Okay, you are like becoming young adults soon, so think of your career, very important. I'm going to leave you all with this slide, okay? So you can sign up for trial lesson by scanning a WhatsApp, the QR code. You scan it for free trial lesson, and you can also join the A-level Telegram channel. Just join it because even if you all do not want to go to trial lesson, they do share free notes, free YouTube video occasionally. Even like sometimes 1 month before exam, they got a crash course that they'll post on Telegram group. So these are quite useful. It's completely free. You can just sign up and see what they have to offer you. The WhatsApp number is for trial lesson is 8770-2540. This for the trial lesson. Or you can sign up directly on the website. So later we'll be sending a PDF copy for you all to see the exact date to sign up for the various courses. All trial lesson dates are available on our Telegram channel and Instagram. Okay, so I just leave you all to scan the code, and then we'll go on to the individual subject sharing. First sharing will be by Max on general paper, GP, right? It's a subject that you will all take. So I'm going to pass the time now to Max, who will share about GP. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, so Max will share about GP and followed by the other tutors.
Okay, hi everyone and online, nice to meet you all. Okay, so I'll be sharing about GP now. So maybe I'll just start with a very short yeah, the slide isn't changing. Okay, I'll start with a very short introduction now. Okay, so nice to meet all of you. My name is Max. I've been tutoring for about 5 years now. So I've actually taught from primary school. I didn't taught from primary school. I've taught primary school students, secondary, as well as JC. But because I think I work best with JC students, I mainly specialize in A-level, H2 Bio, and H1 GP. So I'll be sharing about Bio later, but now it's my GP part, okay? So I went to NUS. So I was a graduate from NUS I think just last year. So I took a degree in life sciences as well as sociology. And I feel that that's what makes me very qualified in that sense to teach both bio and GP lah. Okay, so JC wise, I was from NYJC. So if anyone's here, like, yay, okay. And then I'm a really avid trier of new things lah. So something personal about me, I love to. Some people like you only like sports or like music only. I like to try everything. So like jack of all trades, master of none, something like that. Okay. So now on to the subject at hand. Why, yeah, some of you may ask like, okay, why must I take a general paper? So I think this may look like a very politically correct answer, but I feel that I can't really find a way around it. And I think that this is really true. What Cambridge wants for you guys to take out of GP is that to develop a sense of like critical thinking, writing, as well as communication. So fancy way of saying that, okay? So, but essentially what this is trying to say is that nowadays in the 21st century, right, we are encountering a lot of different events happening, right? Russia-Ukraine war, climate change, a lot of different stuff, right? So I think what GP is meant to help you guys with is to develop this sense of like understanding, right? So you can engage with these issues. When all these things are happening in the world, you won't be like, when your friends talk about it, you'll be like, huh? What happened? Okay, and then look like a bit dumb, right? So it trains you to have this, provide a very well-justified take, okay, and be engaged with these issues, okay, knowing, oh, how does this affect me? How does this affect my country? How does this affect us as like humans, okay? So, but on a more pragmatic front, it's compulsory, okay? So there's no way to go around it unless you take knowledge and inquiry, which I personally feel that it's a much more academically demanding subject as compared to general paper lah. Okay, so if you're more interested about KI, you can ask me later, but I don't really teach KI. I focus more on general paper. So on another note, when we talk about more pragmatic front, right, why must you take GP? So firstly, it's helpful as well as it's required for certain university courses. So if you check to even apply to university, right, most of them have this general criteria of a good pass in GP. So this is why it's a mandatory subject for everyone. So, but specifically, I think as Guan Hua mentioned, there are specific courses that require you to have a good grade in GP. So particularly for those of you who are interested in doing law, I've pulled up the NUS and SMU requirements. So for NUS, it says at least a B grade. For SMU, it says at least a pass. But I think we all know that for law applicants, most of the time you need straight A's for this stuff, okay? So another thing, if you plan to do, maybe law isn't for you, but you plan to do like social science, like, or humanities, so English language, English literature, history, sociology, psychology, these subjects, okay? General paper is typically they require a good pass or a good grade. And I can tell you that if you have a very good grade and good understanding of GP, right, you will sail and you will enjoy your uni life. It'll be very easy. Okay, so but I think the main thing I want you guys to take away is that remember to check. I mean, you guys are in J1 now, so there's still time to figure what you want to do. But whatever you want to do, make sure you put in some effort to go in and check and do some research beforehand. So you kind of know what to prepare. But the more important thing here, okay, is you see this like very fancy qualifying English test, right? So what is this QET? Is basically, as I say here, to check if you need to take extra communication modules. And by comms, I don't mean like the media, that kind, but literally like to see whether you can write well lah. Okay, so this is a very funny thing, okay, but it's mandatory for a university as well. So what they do is they'll check your GP grade, and depending on the grade that you get, right, then you'll see whether you're exempted from the test or not. So you can see the NTU is a bit more forgiving, right? As long as you pass your GPE, right, you don't have to take this test. But for NUS, they're a bit more demanding. You need a minimum of a C grade. So just to share with you guys, when I was in uni, a lot of my friends, when I met through, because I do science, right? So a lot of my friends I met in science camp, quite a few of them got like D and E for GP. So ended up they had to go for this test. They shared with me what is it like. It's basically you come down, then they just do like a compre, I think, and an essay. So it's kind of like another GP paper lah, okay? But what the whole purpose of this test is that after you finish, right, they'll band you. So if you get the highest band, like let's say you do very well, right, then you're exempted from these this QE, you're exempted from a few mods, okay? But let's say you got like band 2 or like the lower bands, right? What happens is that you need to take additional mods at your usually your first semester, your first semester in uni lah. So what are these mods? It's basically like communication law, as I said. They'll teach you like basic how to write introduction, how to write a good report. Okay, so why is this needed? It's because in university, right, you guys will write, for example, science, right? JC, we can avoid that. We take science because we don't have to write essay, right? But uni, right, you will have to write report, not essay, but lab reports, all this kind of stuff. And that requires like communication, right? That requires a certain level of like English in that sense. Then for social science or that no running away, you have to write essays. So this whole point is just to make sure that you're capable of writing a basic essay and report. So if you want to save time, don't want to do this in your year one uni, because I personally feel that it's a bit of a waste of time. Okay, just make sure that you do well for a GP lah. Okay, then you can be exempted from this. Okay, so unfortunate news for all of you, the GP syllabus has changed. Okay, so just yeah, it's literally your batch will be the first one. Okay, so the first year of examen will be 2024. So which is the year that you guys are taking A level. So unless you're J2 this year, this will be the guinea pig batch lah. Okay, so what has changed? I'm gonna go through like exactly what your exam format. This I'll leave it to your teachers in school, but I'll focus on what specifically has changed. So first of all, your GP exam at A levels is just two parts: paper 1, paper 2, essay and compre. Okay, so for paper 1, my batch and all your seniors, right, they're very lucky. We get 12 questions to choose from. We pick one essay question lah. Okay, so we got a very wide range of choice, right? Now paper 2 is where things get a bit more scary or interesting. Okay, depending on whether you like this. So what we have is SAQ. Okay, so what this means is short answer question. It's basically like your comprehension, right? So now, before, okay, during my batch and your seniors, it was 17 marks. So you can see that this was really what saved a lot of us for GP lah. Okay, because it's just comprehension question. But then now, right, they reduce the weightage. So they take away, you see it's quite a lot. It's about three questions worth of marks, okay? And they spread it out to these two other segments. So the next one you see is AQ. What exactly is AQ? It's called application question. So you'll learn more about it in your JC, okay? But this is where a lot of students start to complain also lah, okay? So AQ is something like you compare Singapore society to the society that you're reading about in the passage. So it really trains like your evaluation and thinking skills lah. The new part where everyone's like, very new, right? A bit scared, is this thing that we call connection of ideas. So this is a very new segment. What they do now, so in your seniors batch, right? Okay, the compre is like usually it's either one passage or two passage. Okay, now right, compre not set in stone, 3 passages. Okay, so yes, you have to read 3 passages. Obviously the length will be shortened down a bit. Okay, but what this new segment really trains is that whether you're able to compare different perspectives. So how will this work is that there'll be one theme or topic, 3 different perspectives on this topic. Okay, and then this connection idea segment is asking you to, okay, you read passage 1, passage 2, how do you compare the ideas? Are they talking about the same thing or are they like against each other, the perspective? So you can see that it's really more critical thinking, and the worst part, same duration of paper. So it's still 1.5 hours, and you can see that they're kind of demanding a bit more from you guys lah. Yeah, okay, so but really, I'm not trying to scare you. This is you're the first batch, okay, first year examination in 2024. Okay, so your teachers, don't worry, in school have been prepared for this, and tutors as well. We have been reading out about this. So yeah, your teachers will definitely introduce these changes to you lah, okay? So what exactly are the things that you learn in GP, right? So for paper 1, actually, this is a good thing. In the past, the topics are very not so clear. Now they're very clear cut. They tell you this is what they'll test on. Okay, so for paper 1, what kind of essay questions you may be looking at is firstly, society and culture. So basically things about like, gender, race, societal issues, right? Okay, capital punishment, death penalty, crime, stuff like that. Economics, so for example, if you talk about whether a country should pursue economic growth and stuff like that. Politics, so we talk about like democracy, voting, stuff like that, right? Arts and humanities, so we talk about maybe like, okay, are artists still needed in this world? Digital art, is it better than physical art? Museums, are they interesting? What's the point of music? Okay, science and tech, a very favorite topic by students. So you talk about medical technology, research, nuclear weapons, yeah, space travel, stuff like that, okay? Environment is a very special one. So it used to be a topic that come on and off, but then now, I think, as you guys can tell, right, our world is climate change, all that, right? So environment is a very new and upcoming, it's now a permanent topic. So expect a question on environment. So for example, extinction of animals, climate change, should we prioritize climate change over economic growth and stuff like that? Okay. Now, this is paper one, so don't worry, they are not asking you to know everything, okay? But it's most often what you as students need to do is like, okay, which are the topics you feel stronger at, and then you work towards it lah. So for example, for me, what I prepared for was like society and culture, arts and humanities, science and tech environment. So I would like read out about these kind of stuff, okay? And you'll use that for your paper one. Okay, so it's really different student got different priorities. Paper two, as I mentioned, 3 passages, 1 topic. So you can't really predict the topic, but the 3 passages will have different views on the topic. Okay, so maybe it's a topic is on climate change, right? So maybe one view is like, oh, climate change is not important. Another view is climate change is important. Third view is we need to see how climate change is going to affect us. Okay, so you got 3 passages on 1 topic. All right. So what to expect from GP? If your English is good, right, half the battle is won, but it is not just about English. Okay, so then at the same time, the scary part is if you're not good at English, then half the battle, the whole battle is lost in that sense. Okay, but not to worry, right? In a sense, also it's a good thing because this means that even though your English is not super good, and I admit my English wasn't very good in JC, okay, but you can still score well for GP, okay? Because what they're looking more for, yes, they're looking for language, I won't deny that, but the other part they're looking for is what we call critical thinking, critical analysis, right? So what they mean by that is that when you talk about certain issues in society, right, are you able to provide a very well thought out response to it? Or are you like, I don't know, I don't care. Okay, so if you are the I don't know, I don't care, right, then this is where you may struggle a bit with GP lah, okay? So which is why I think if Guan Hua mentioned, you guys need to like read newspaper, be aware of what's happening in the world. For example, like Russia-Ukraine war, right? If you don't know what is happening there, then something to worry about, right? Okay, so critical analysis, when you read and encounter all this stuff, how do you feel about it? And yeah, make a good argument about it, okay? I'll make it clear right now, it's very common to fail and or score poorly at the start. I will tell you, I scored A1 for my O-level for English. When I came to JC, so I never failed a subject in O-level. When I came to JC, right, my first exam, all U's and S. Okay, so it's not to scare you, right? So GP, I thought I was really good. I thought I was so interested in this topic, and then I got humbled by the exam. Okay, so it's common to fail and score poorly, but don't be demoralized. I think really what I want the message to be is not, oh, I'm so scared of GC, I hate it, but more of don't give up. Okay, you will face all these challenges, but don't give up. Okay, you have to, the trick is learn the tips and tricks to help you navigate through all these difficult subjects lah. Okay, so not to worry. If you feel that I scare you, I'm not here to scare you so you have to sign up for my tuition. No, it's not that. But if you feel that you want to try and see what GP is like, okay, or if you really feel that, okay, I'm not so good at English, I'm not so good at expressing my thoughts, and you feel that you may need the extra help, not to worry. So unfortunately for me, because of my tight schedule, I am only able to open like just 1 trial class. So it will be on the 12th of February, Sunday, 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. At Toa Payoh Spatial. So it's a 7-pack slot for physical. I'm still considering whether it will be a hybrid, but first come, first serve basis. And then yeah, if there are enough signups, I will convert this to a permanent class. So it will be at this timing lah. Yeah. Okay. So I hope everyone's like not too scared. Okay, I didn't traumatize you all from GP. Okay, it's something that everyone goes through. So don't worry so much about it. And I would say also really have fun with it. Okay, because it's one of the subjects that you're you get to choose what you want to be passionate. You get to pursue like your passion. Okay, because it's really called general paper. Okay. So I think with that, I'll pass my time on over to Kai Wen, okay, who will share with you guys about the math lah. Okay. So thank you guys for online also.
Okay. Hello. Okay, I'm back. So yeah. For those online, hi. Okay, I'm Kai Wen again. So I'll be sharing more about the JC math side, and I believe 90% of people here will definitely take math. So just to check, just a show of hands, how many taking H2 math? H2 math? No one taking? No one taking H2 math? Oh, okay. That's the first. H1? Oh, okay, very good. So if you do not, if you do not know yet, okay, then I'm here to convince you to take either lah. Okay, so let me first talk about JC Math first. What is it about? And what can you expect moving in? Same thing for H1. I'll share all lah, H1, H2, and H2 further. So for GC Math, right? It's basically like an entrance into uni, and you're going to be learning like a lot of stuff about interesting stuff that you will need for uni content. So like for example, statistics, you will learn your integration, your calculus, that kind of thing. Okay, this will be necessary lah for your courses in university. Okay, there's a lot of rigor, okay, as compared to O-level A Math. So a lot of people will actually compare O-level A Math with H2 Math. Okay, so the comparison usually I like to give is that it's about 5 to 6 times harder as compared to A Math. Okay, so let's talk about levels here. So in mathematics for JC, right, there are 4. So H1, H2, H2 further, and then H3. So H3 Math, later the other tutors will also share about H3 Math, H3 subjects. Now H3 Math is basically just another level step up from H2 Math. So all the subjects will also have H3, is basically just another level on top of the H2 stuff. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down all the 3 maths here, okay, and I'm going to show you what are the difference and the type of papers that you'll be sitting for your exams. So for H1, okay, H1 paper, it'll be 1 3-hour paper, 40 marks on pure math and 60 marks on statistics. For paper 2, for H2 math, okay, it'll be 2 3-hour paper. So 3 hour is quite a long process. Okay, you take a lot of time. 100 marks will be for pure mathematics for paper 1. For paper 2, it'll be 40 pure, 60 on stats. Now, if you were to take further, which I think is the crowd is going to be very rare. Now, people usually only take further math if they don't like themselves, they really hate themselves, they want to take math for fun. Okay, and they are the type of people that really love math, like me lah. Okay, so if you really love math, you can consider, but this is one deep hole that you are going to drop in very, very quickly when you reach for the very first time. So here there are also 2 3-hour papers, 100 marks for pure math, and then 50-50 for pure and for stats. Now the rule for H2 further is that these two will be taken together. So we call this in JC double math. So it means you take math, H2 math, H2 further math, then one more another H2, then your H1. That's what people do. But it's very rare to find people that will take this. If it's me, I would not recommend because of how difficult it is. Unless you're me lah. Okay. So let's go through the syllabus. Okay, I'm going to show you basically or break down every single topic that you'll be learning in H1, H2, and H2 further. Okay, and I also will point out what are the important, what are the difficult stuff and what is actually related to your O-level content. So this is H1. Now, H1 basically, right, you'll split your syllabus into 3, your functions and graphs, your calculus, and your statistics. Now, statistics will take up the main chunk of your whole 1.5 years of studying. The beginning part is actually a refresher of what O-level A Math actually is. So just to share, okay, the ones in red are basically those that are in relation to your, when you take photo, don't take my face. Okay. So when you sorry, lost my train of thought. Yeah. The red color boxes, right, are those that are in relation to your O-level A Math. Okay, and then the rest is don't have lah. Now, just want to point out one thing. If you do not take A Math in secondary school, this might be a struggle for you. And also, of course, if you don't take A Math, you take H2 Math, that will be an even worse struggle for you. Okay. Now, just to share, this is the H2 Math syllabus. Okay. One common way that people like to compare O-level A Math and H2 Math, the difficulty, right? Usually I say it's about 5 times, 6 times, 7 times as difficult. If you don't believe me, later I can show you. Now, a lot of people actually go into JC thinking that they can ace their mathematics. I'm going to tell you first that it takes a lot of effort. It's not easy. The rigor is going to significantly grow very, very quickly. Exponential increase, basically. Okay, there are 5 or 6 basic classes of topics that I would like to split everything into. Okay, the majority will be taught, I would say maybe functions and graphs, sequences and series, vectors, and half of calculus will be done in year 1. Everything else will be done in year 2. Okay. Usually difficult topics they will teach about 1 to 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Okay, and now I'm going to show you what is difficult in my personal opinion. So these are the topics that are slightly more difficult. So number one, I think in my personal opinion, it depends on different tutors lah. For myself, I feel that vectors is one of the most difficult things out there. So if your O-level E-Math vectors was not strong, this is going to be a whole world of pain for you if you're going to take. Okay, it's going to be a very, very painful topic, especially if your vectors is very weak. Complex numbers, also another thing, is brand new concepts that you've never encountered before. This will be also quite painful. Integration. Now, if your A-Math integration was not strong, this is 3 times as difficult. Okay, because there is about another 30-something formulas that you're going to learn. Okay, differentiation, you're going to learn about additional 20 more formulas. Okay, and then you're going to dump everything together into one question. Have fun. Okay, and then the last thing is the probability topic. Now, if let's say your O-level probability wasn't that good, same thing here, you will most likely struggle. Okay, because there's this topic called permutations and combinations. It's also difficult. Okay. Now, last one, I just want to share about the H2 further math. Okay, so this is the further math syllabus. Now, these are things that are just tapped on top of the H2 math. So how is it going to work is this? Okay, the ones in red, right, are actually just topics that are extended upon the normal H2 math. Okay, what they would like to do is, that they will just teach you more, a bit more on all this stuff. So last time when I was taking my A-levels, right, all these topics were in H2. But then when they changed syllabus, they threw all of this into further math. Okay, so it's about, if you take both math and further math, it's about 30-something topics. Okay, can? Yeah. So my suggestion is this: if you are not good at, if you did not score an A1 for both E-Math and A-Math, do not take this. Do not take further. You will definitely die. If you did not minimally get a B3 for your A-Math, your H2 math will suffer. You will definitely suffer. Okay, trust me. I think you don't believe me, right? You go and try. You will understand the pain very, very soon. Okay, now I'm just going to share a little bit about myself and why is it I'm so passionate about this. Okay, the reason is because I study math in uni. Okay, so basically whatever I just gone through there is easy for me lah. It's a cakewalk. Okay, but a lot of people are not me. So unless you are someone like me, then everything there will be very, very easy. It's a second nature thing to me. But a lot of people it's not. You require a lot of effort. Now, math at the O levels, you can study one day before. I mean, for me, I didn't even study. Okay, so I didn't study, I got A1. So as in for A levels, right, it's impossible. For math, especially. It's impossible to study one day before. 1 month, I would say, is also not enough. At least 1 to 2 months. Okay, so yeah, that's what I study in uni. I study math. Okay, I'm not going to share my JC journey again. Okay, but basically, I just want to share some advice for H2 math, as I can see the reactions of people's faces here. Okay, so just some quick advice about H2 math. How do you strive for the subject? Now, let's talk about your results from your O levels. If you got A1 for both A math and E math, don't go into H2 math thinking that you're going to do well. You cannot go in with that mentality. If you go in with that mentality, you're going to GG. Okay, you should go in with the mentality that you're learning something completely new. Okay, and a lot of rigor, you need to practice a lot. And I stress the a lot, really have to practice a lot. Okay, so if you want a little teaser of what this is, okay, you can look for me. I'll be outside. You can look at me. I'll be studying for my own test later. Okay, if you want to see like what JC content is like, you can look for me also. And also I offer trial classes for both I only offer for H2. Okay, okay. So yeah, practice. Math is fun. I mean, unless you're me lah. Okay, so I'll pass the time to the rest. Okay, next will be Cam. Yeah. I can if you want, but now the demand a bit small. But I can open. I can always open. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. If you have any questions for me, you can look for me personally. If you want to talk more about math with me, you can. If not, bye bye. Okay. Now it's for H2 physics and math.
I don't want to look up in physics.
Okay. But I'm going through physics first. I'm doing physics first. Physics first. Okay, anyways, hi. I'm Miss Pamela Low. Yeah. Okay, anyways. Okay, so today, right, I'm basically the teacher for chemistry and physics at Overmark. So I just want to ask you guys, all of you decided to take any of these two subjects? Haven't decided yet? Decided? Those decided physics? No, all chem. Oh, except for that dude. Wait, he's physics or chem? And anyway, forget about him. Yeah, so haven't decided yet, but decided to take all chemistry. So my job now is to convince you guys to take physics. Okay, not really lah, but it's based on your preference. Okay, so but I think you guys should know that when you go to JC, you need to at least take a contrasting subject, whether or not you're in the art streams or the science stream, right? Usually the more popular subject is chemistry because some of the school predetermine chemistry to be the fixed topic that some of you guys get. But I think now your generation, you have more liberty in choosing what topic you want. So today, I'm not going to talk about what physics or chemistry is because, to be honest, it's similar to what you have learned in Sec 4, just that now it's going to be more in-depth, like chemistry and physics on steroids, essentially. Okay, so my job here is to just give you the difference between H1 and H2. So at least you know what you're in for if you want to choose H1 or H2. Okay, Ken? Okay, so this is the agenda. I'll go through topics about me. I'm going to go through who am I, what am I, so at least you guys know me, and then maybe I can get to know you guys better as well. All of you all confirm in JC. I mean, yeah, what a stupid question. Obviously, you guys are here, right? But anyways, but it's not definite. I have students who went into JC, then 1 year later quit and go poly. Yeah, so there is always an alternative. Anyways, then I'll talk about the scheme of assessment. Basically, what will you be tested on? Okay, what exams are you going to take if you're going to do H1 and H2? And then the contents cover as well as how you're going to choose based on the university prerequisites. Okay? Okay, so things about me first. If you cannot already tell, I'm a Taylor Swift fan. Massive Taylor Swift fan. I liked her since I was 16 years old. But anyways, if you guys are Taylor Swift fan, even if you are not, please join my snatch ticket when she come for concert. Chat. I need more people in this team to help me snatch ticket. I need 2 packs. So anyway, yeah. So I'm a tutor. My name is Miss Low, Pamela Low. You can call me whichever, whatever you want to call me, Miss, Madam. No, Madam, please. I'm not that old. Okay, I've been teaching for 12 years. Basically, before I graduated from uni, I started teaching already, and I just teach all the way because I feel that something that I like to do lah. Okay, so always find something that you like to do. Then I graduated from NTU twice when I did my bachelor there as well as my master's there. So as you can see, my bachelor there was actually a science stream bachelor. It's in aerospace engineering. And then my master's is in education, which is an art stream degree. Which means to say, I actually done both streams, the science stream as well as the art streams. So if you ask me honestly, what's the difference between these two streams, if you are thinking about that in university, is that when you're doing the science stream, you're more of a problem solver. So the universities will train you to become a problem solver, such that when you go into the market next time, companies will just say, I have a problem, I need you to solve it. Then you just appear and solve it. Okay, so when you do engineering courses or science courses in university, right, it's pretty much solving questions, answering the why. Okay, but when you do art streams like education, it's a lot of readings, meaning 1 week you can read up to 7 papers, and papers meaning like research articles, report. So if you're the type of person that likes to read, right, maybe an art stream is good for you. Okay, but if you don't like to read, you like to solve questions, then you do sciences or engineering. Okay, because what I did when I was in university, right, when I was in the science stream, right, the cool thing about this is that because I did aerospace, there is too many formulas and the formulas are too hard. They actually give up in you memorizing it. They'll be like, just bring a cheat sheet. So whatever I learned in university was trying to squeeze my entire textbook into 2 pages of A4 paper. So I'm a master of Microsoft Word. I managed to downsize my font to font 4 and still be able to read during the exam. Okay, so that's what you will do mostly in a science stream. But for art stream, like I say, it's a lot of reading and a lot of just bullshitting your way through lah. Okay, then My specialize is basically math and sciences. So if you need to ask anything about math and sciences, you can ask me. That's mainly what I'm interested in, as well as in life advices. So now you know, you guys are like the older teenagers, raging hormones, a lot of like relationship issues, parents issue, life issue. Even if you just want to ask about yourself or you just want to have a chat, you can just come to me and ask me. Ultimately, I'm 30 years old. I have 30 years of life experience to give, although it doesn't look like I am. Okay, pet issue also can. I have a husky that just passed away. So anyways, I only have 2 hobbies, traveling, eating. That's my only 2 hobbies. So if you like to eat, you can join me go out and eat. If you like to travel, we can also organize a trip to go and travel. Okay. Other than that, I don't have much hobby. I tried knitting once. I really hated it. I hate knitting. So don't ask me to do any form of knitting, crocheting, or whatever thing, right? I will not do it. These are the only 2 things I will do in my life. Okay. Okay. So let's go into the more serious part. Let's talk about JC physics. I know most of you guys here have already decided chemistry, but maybe let me try to convince you to take at least JC physics. It's not as hard as you think. If you can do math, you can do JC physics, okay? Because in JC physics, you realize that it involves a lot of math stuff. For example, vectors, trigo, calculus, graphs, all these will actually be inside your JC physics. You understand? So if you do your JC physics and you realize, hey, I need to use cosine rule, it's not a surprise. I need to use Tuacaso, it's not surprising as well. Understand? But in A-level physics, it is actually an extension of your Sec 4 physics. So whatever you've learned in Sec 4, now in A-level, is going to be more in-depth and you will learn more stuff for the same topic, meaning things like kinematics, dynamics, all these will appear. Okay? Now there's 3 different levels. H1, H2, and H3. But H3, if you see what I've on the screen, it's by invitation only, meaning to say you will only be invited by your teacher when you are going to year 2 and you have to do well in year 1 for your H2 physics. So only then your teacher will come secretly, you'll be like, come, let me tell you, ask you something. Do you want to do this? Then you'll be like, all right, okay. The classes won't be in your it won't be in your JC. Most of the classes for H3 will be held in a university. So I have a student who is doing H3 econs. He's going to SMU once a week to do the classes there. Understand? Okay, so that's mainly for H3. And that's only if you are really, really interested. Like, for example, you really can do physics well. You're really interested in physics. You're going to be the next Elon Musk, the next Albert Einstein. You feel that you're going to bring Singapore glory by doing physics. By all means, go and do H3. Otherwise, it's a bit hard. Okay, Ken? So, the crux of the whole presentation, H1 versus H2 in terms of scheme of assessment. Now, if you are H1, you only need to do half of this entire scheme, which means paper 1 and paper 2 only. But if you are H2, you need to do all 4, paper 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what's the difference? For paper 2 and paper 3, paper 2 is your standard section B, you know, that you have been doing all along. But paper 3, we call it the free response question, essay type, meaning to say the question is now going to be longer. For example, you have question 1. In paper 3, you will have part A, B, C, D, E, F, G, that kind. So one question, right, can take up to 6 pages. When you do, you'll be like, how come this question is not ending? That's your paper 3. Okay? But for paper 4, this is actually your practical paper. Practical paper means you have to do experiments. You have to plan experiments. So that will be what your H2 will be doing, paper 3 and paper 4. Do you understand? So if you feel that when you are in Sec 4 and you did physics and you feel that, hey, I cannot do practical, I just don't get it. Maybe H1 is a much better option. Okay. But if let's say you feel that you can handle practical, you can handle physics well, then you can take up H2. Clear? The next difference is the topic wise. So I'm not sure whether you guys know, but H1, they generally tend to complete lesser topic as compared to H2. So can you see things like, for example, thermal physics? H1 completely don't do thermal. Temperature, what Q equals to MC delta theta, all those, be gone by. Okay, so if you did Sec 4 physics and you feel that I could not understand temperature at all, I don't understand thermal physics, then maybe H1 is a good option for you. And then even things like modern physics, quantum physics, nuclear physics, quantum physics is covered by H2. H1 doesn't cover quantum physics. Okay, so if you're asking me, what is quantum physics like? Okay, you guys watch Marvel, then Ant-Man, the Quantum Mania, the new movie coming out. Yeah, that is one. So you will learn that here. But you won't learn how to become Ant-Man, obviously. You will learn the basic principles of quantum physics. So that's what quantum physics is about. It's pretty cool. It's still an ongoing thing in the world. So whatever you learn right now is really just the basic. Understand? Okay. Okay. Then how difficult is physics? In this case here, it is very difficult. It is very tedious and it's very technical. Meaning to say, right, when you actually face with a physics question or just in general a A-level question, I need you guys to understand that understanding the question is much harder than doing the question. And understanding the question is more important than solving the question. Because if you don't understand the question, you won't know what they want from you. You have all your weapons ready, you don't know which one to use. You know what I mean? And to be honest, science setters, exam setters have a really weird way of writing English. I just don't understand where they learn their English from. The questions, every time they ask you, is like, what do you want? I really don't understand what you want. Like, what can you tell me exactly? So understanding the question is very important. And that is what most students tend to struggle with when they're doing physics. Understand? But how do we actually counter that? Obviously, is do more practice. Expose to yourself to as much weird questions that are out there so that when it comes to you in an exam, you don't receive so much of a culture shock. Understand? Pretty much like dating, you know, expose yourself to as much of the opposite sex as you can, a different type. So then when another weird one comes, you will feel like, hey, this is very weird. You'll think that it's normal already. Clear? Okay. Okay, I'll skip that first. Now, introduction to the next part, which is JC chemistry. All of you are taking JC chemistry, right? So come back. Okay, so all of you are taking JC chemistry in JC? Yes. Okay, so what is it about JC chemistry in JC that is important? Not really important, but good to know. Is that JC chemistry is basically chemistry on steroids. Whatever you have learned in Sec 4, Sec 3 for chemistry, just please forget all about it. Okay, the reason is because in O-level, they sort of made chemistry simplified for you guys so that you guys won't ask so many questions. So whenever you ask questions, you'll be like, just do the work. Okay, but when you come into JC chemistry, we're going to redefine whatever you have learned. A very good example is this. You have learned atomic structure. You have learned that what is the number of electrons that a valence shell can accept? Maximum 8. Then the last shell will be 8, 2, 8, 8, 8, correct? But now when you come in JC, you've forgotten already? Good, it's okay, just forget about it. No need to go back anymore. Okay? When you go to JC, it becomes 2, 8, 16, 32, 64. Yeah, I know, you'll be like, what? Okay, why 32? Since when got 32? Okay, so that's what I meant by when you come into JC chemistry, you're going to learn completely new stuff about whatever you have already learned before. We are going more micro, going more in depth. You understand? No longer touch and go on the surface. So if you feel that in O-level, when you do chemistry and it was hard for you, it's okay. You come in here telling yourself, say, now I'm going to do the reset button and learn everything from scratch again. Okay? So like I said, chemistry at A-level, we are going to cover more topics and even deeper. Okay, we are not going to ask you simple questions that like, oh, write down the chemical formula of sodium chloride. Those are simple questions, but rather we're actually going to work more on application based. Meaning to say, in A-level chemistry, right, the focus on it a lot of the focus on it is actually in organic chem. About 60 to 70% of your paper is organic chem based. So if you actually don't do well for organic chem in Sec 4, what does that mean? That means you need to come for lesson, okay? But if you are not good in organic chemistry, doesn't matter, like I said, just relearn everything because organic chem in A-level, right, it's very diverse. So it can be integrated with any question, meaning if I want to test you on mole, I can just put in an organic compound inside and test you on mole. If I want to test you on kinetics, like the speed of reaction, I can put in the organic chem inside it and test you on it. You understand? Okay. So what you learn in Sec 4, you're just learning the theory. Whatever you learn in JC will be the calculation. Okay. For example, Sec 4, you'll learn speed of reaction, right? And the factors that affects the speed of reaction. Remember? Never mind, don't forget also can. But in JC, you'll be learning how fast, how much. We are going to do calculation. We are really literally going to do a quantitative calculation to the speed of a reaction, things like that. You understand? It's not scary, it's very fun. Okay, so there are 3 different levels. Like I said, H1, H2, H3. Like I said, H3 is only by invitation only. So only when your teacher invites you to do it at J2, then you can enroll yourself into H3. Understand? Okay. So same thing like physics. What's the difference between H1 and H2? In order to help yourself make the decision better, like I said, there are 4 papers. H1 only do the first 2. H2 do all 4. What is the difference? H1 don't have to do free response question, which is sort of like the essay-based questions. And H1 don't have to do practical exams. You understand? Means if you are really, really bad at doing experiment, right? You can, for now, just say bye-bye. No longer going to do it if you are doing H1. Clear? Okay. Content-wise, is also very straightforward. For H1, they cover lesser topics as well as the same topic, reduced content. For example, things like gaseous states, things like titration, curve, things like solubility product, we're not going to do it. But things like kinematics, equilibrium, all these, we're going to do it reduced. But I want you guys to take note, although the topic is lesser, the content is much shallower, the difficulty of the question is the same. Meaning to say, for the same topic, same concept, a H1 question can appear in a H2 paper as well. That's what they meant by the difficulty is the same. You understand? Although the content is much lesser. So essentially, you still study lesser, but you have to do the same type of questions. You get it? On top of that, H1 also has newer topics that H2 don't cover. Things like nanomaterial, polymer chemistries, and group 1 elements. Okay, so these are some of the newer topics that H2 completely don't cover. But H2 also cover things like transition elements and organic chemistry, organic nitrogen compounds, all these. Okay, so just to give you an in-depth of how much H2 stuff you're going to study for organic chem. Set 4, you study 4 organic groups, right? Alkane, alkenes, alcohol, carboxylic acid. H2 JC, you cover maybe about 15 organic groups. Yeah. Okay, clear? So it's a lot of things to memorize. But the more you practice, the more you realize you don't need to memorize stuff. Okay? So is it difficult? Yes, it is very difficult. Will you struggle? Of course you will struggle. Because why not? Why you will go JC for? Is torture your own self, right? If not, what for? All right. So when you go JC, when you do chemistry in JC, it is a lot of hard work. It requires a lot of discipline, which means a lot of learning on your own. Especially you're like the COVID babies, you know, you all came out from COVID. All the lectures in JC nowadays, most of them converted into recorded lecture. Meaning to say, you have to have the discipline to watch the recorded lecture. My era, we have to go, teacher take attendance and stuff like that. But now your era is watch it at your own home, come for tutorials. Do your homework and come for tutorials. Will y'all watch it based on experience? Not really. Even if you watch, you will ×5 the speed. Yeah, so maybe a 2-hour lecture will finish in like half an hour. I don't know. Okay, so it's going to be a bit difficult and it's going to be very confusing because there will be a lot of overlay. That means information from chapter 1 can appear again in chapter 10. Information from 5 can appear in 20. So then it seems as if like you have a lot of content you need to memorize. But if you really look at the bigger picture, you can link all of them up together. Then it makes your learning much easier. You understand? Okay, so when you want to choose whether it's H1 or H2, I think pretty much most of you guys already know what you want to do. The only thing is when you want to choose whether it's H1 or H2, my recommendation is go to the university website, really ask yourself what course you want to study. Then go into that course and look at the requisites, what prerequisites, what do they need. Now, when I say look at the prerequisite, I don't mean looking at what subject you should take only, but also look at their requirement, whether they want you to take H2 or H1. Because for example, NTU, because I'm from a PCME background, so let's do a PCME focus. When I look at NTU courses and I want to do engineering, then what? I will need a pass in H2 and a pass in H2 math and a pass in H1 physics. So if you look at this engineering program, right, why suddenly so much requirement? For this Renaissance engineering program, this is actually a true trained bachelor and master's program. So the first 4 years, you will be doing it in Singapore. The last year, you will be doing it in the US. So either UCLA or whatever university they decided to work with. At the end of the day, when you graduate, you will graduate with a master's instead and a bachelor. So it's sort of like a 5-year program. And that's why the prerequisite is very high. Okay, so they need you to take H2 Chem or any other H2 sciences, H2 math and a H1 physics. This is not all, this is N. Understand? Okay, so medicine, engineering, accountancy, all these are the more popular choices in the university. For NTU, it's more of an engineering, math, sciences university. They are well famous for. That's why these are the prerequisites that they want. If let's say we look at NUS and you're looking into do medicine, H2 Chem, and a second H2 Science, which most likely will be bio or physics, correct? You don't see any H1 for all these kind of popular courses, dentistry, or even some of the sciences that you need. 2 passes in H2 chemistry or H2 biology, or H2 math or H2 physics. Can you see that? So it's very important for you to go to their university website and really ask yourself what you want to do and what do they need. Okay, but the misleading thing is they say pass, right? Most of the time it means A lah, because everybody can get a pass. It's how competitive the course gets. Do you understand? Okay, clear? Okay, so obviously, previously what Guanghua I share is on top of your grades, you also need a portfolio. So those are things that you can prepare early. So if you can prepare early, it will be good. Try not to last minute prepare. For SMU, it's a law and a business management university, so they don't have things like engineering and whatnot. So for them, their requisite is slightly much more lenient. So they only require you to have passes in 3 H2 or 1 H1. Specific subjects, they don't really bother. You understand? Not like the NUS and NTUs. Clear? Okay. So too long, didn't hear, didn't read, didn't whatever. Think carefully what courses you want to take in university. It's a bit hard because right now you guys are what, 17 years old? Correct? Ask you to make decision for your life for the rest of the year. That's going to be very scary. But a lot of trial and error can take place right now because you guys are young. Okay? So when you go to your JC, you can do internships during the holiday. You can ask your relatives who is if you want to do medicine, is a doctor, does your hospital need intern? Can I go for it? If you want to do veterinary, you can ask your friends who have a dad who is a vet. Can I work in your dad's company for no pay, or maybe like give me free lunch every day? You know, so get all this internship. It's not only your way to build your own portfolio, but also a chance to ask yourself and give your chance an opportunity whether or not you really want to go into that course. Then you slowly tailor and work your way towards that course that you want to take. Understand? Because ultimately JC is to prepare you for university. Otherwise, who else want to go JC, right? Everybody should just go for poly. But when I went to JC, the reason why I went to JC is because when I opened the poly course book, right, I look at all the options, right? I cannot decide what I want to do for life. It's like you ask me to decide now, I really cannot. I'll be very scared. That's why I went to JC because I just continue studying first for now. Okay, but go and expose yourself to all the different internship. When I was in JC, I did law internship. It's quite fun. My mentor was a judge. So I basically follow her around and just listen to court cases. Yeah, so get to learn all this experience. It'll be quite fun. Okay, so think carefully what you want to take, then decide what level you want to choose, H2 or H1. But in summary, H1 has lesser content, reduced content, lesser exam to take. But not all universities accept H1. H2, more content, more exam to take, more depth, but it allows you open more doors to more courses that you can take. Do you understand? Okay, so really think carefully on that part. Then make the decision, then stick through with it. Otherwise, you can be like me. What I did was when I was in J1, I took 4 H2. It's a bit scary, but I tell myself, say that I'll try 1 year for 4 H2. If it doesn't work in the second year, then I'll just drop the H2 that is not performing well. You understand? So that's what you can do as well. Sometimes you may be surprised by your own ability to motivate yourself. So what I did was in J2, I suddenly felt like, whatever, I'm just going to work hard for 4 H2 and just continue with it. Okay, can? So these are the classes that are chemistry we have for trial classes. So if you want to go, just take a photo, take a screenshot. Anyway, it's free, just come for it. Everybody likes free stuff, right? Correct? Maybe got free food also. Yeah, maybe I'll convince you to join physics also. Then these are the physics trial classes. Can? What's wrong with physics? Yeah, but anyway, physics is quite cool. You learn how to be Marvel. I mean, like Iron Man and whatnot. Iron Man, when he proposed a solution for them to time travel, is also because of quantum physics, you know. But anyways, any questions and concerns? J1. Yeah. It's through my school. TJ. Yeah, TJ has an internship program. So you ask them, they work with the Singapore Academy of Law, SAL. So you then can work. They will offer to students, if I'm not wrong, that do well enough for promo. Don't have to be very good, but do well enough so that you during the holidays you don't have to study ma. You know what I mean? So then there is business, there is law, there is medicine, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so I wanted to choose business, but then some of my friends told me, say that no, you're just selling the Time magazine to the students. I don't know, when you go JC, you need to subscribe to some magazine one. Then they will ask you to call students and subscribe. Then I was like, I don't want. Okay, then I go for law. Yeah, it was quite fun because I follow a judge around. So then my main case to be in charge of was a maid abuse case and a rape case. So every time there's a break, the judge will call me into the room and then just to discuss, like, if you are the judge, what will you do, this and that. No need. Yeah, I just tag along. It was quite fun. Yeah, so you will be sitting behind the lawyers, and then for me, I was sitting behind the lawyers, then the evidence, real evidence, will be passed to you and you see. So I literally saw a maid being abused really, really badly. Yeah, end up when the judge asked me, like, what would you do if you are a judge? Then I kind of saw the mom gesturing to the son during the interrogation, during the hearing. So I told the judge that. I said, I don't know whether you've seen it, but this is what I see. Then she said, how long will you, what would your judgment be? I say, I'm not sure about the law right now, but probably send them to jail. It's a whole family thing. The whole family abused the case, the maid. Yeah. So in the end, the judge was like, yeah, I saw that, and my judgment will be 3 to 6 months in jail. Yeah. So then after that, many months later, when I read the newspaper, the whole family was sentenced to jail. Mainly because the sons were police officers. So law enforcers flouting the law, they get more serious punishment. Yeah, the rape cases in another thing different. You will see like the victims all covered up. You won't know who the victim is to protect them. And it's in the high court, so it's very different from the smaller courts. I also went to see divorce cases. That was funny. You will see them fighting. Yeah, that was funny. It's a funny one. Yeah, then I also saw political parties. You guys know who is Chee Soon-juan? Yeah, so you'll see this kind of cases, high political people in those areas. So it's quite fun. It's quite a cool experience. Yeah, so just go along. Yeah, so we are working to actually trying to suggest to Daryl to actually host like a seminar style where all of you just do the experiment at the same time in a big setting, like a real practical exam, so that y'all will be able to clear that part. Because this one is slightly different from your Sec 4. That 2 hour, 30 minute, right? You have to do at least a 3 experiment and 1 planning. Meaning right now you have to learn how to write your own experiment. Like literally step 1, do what? Step 2, do what? Okay, so that's what JC Practical is about. Okay? You can apply straight to SAL yourself. Yeah. Because it's the academy, so I think they should have internship available. SAL, Singapore Academy of Law. Yeah, otherwise you just find any of your friends whose parents are lawyer. Can I intern for your law firm? Yeah. I didn't. I wanted to but I didn't, because I wanted to be a pilot. So that's why I studied aerospace engineering, because I thought if I'm a pilot and I have an aerospace engineering background, and if the plane spoil halfway, I can jump out, then strip will float. Then some engineer will come out and then just fix and then go back and fly. Yeah, it's a very 16, 17-year-old thinking. Yeah, but then in the end, guess what? I'm too short. Because pilot, not height requirement, limb requirements. Your leaves need to be long enough to reach. I can't reach the top. Then I need a booster seat. Then it looks as if like a child, Yeah, so that's why. So it's genetically challenged. But the minimum height for pilots, I think, is 165. I'm 160. Yeah. Or not only eyesight must be good, you also must have the physique to do that and handle it. Yeah, so that's why. So if you want to do law, go for internship. You want to do anything, go for internship. Because it's not only boosts your portfolio, it also helps you to understand whether is it you really want to do it, or it's just that you watch too much TV, the glamorous side of it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Okay, so you go, you try out your own already. I have one student who went to JC, but he really wanted to do vet. But there is no uni course in Singapore that is veterinary science. The only way to do veterinary in Singapore is you have to go overseas and study, then you come back to Singapore. But there are poly courses in Singapore that does vet. So he went to an internship, J1 last year. he went for an internship during his holiday, went to intern in a vet. He literally just walked into a vet shop, just open and say, do you need interns? And then they'll be like, sure. Yeah. So then he went there. The first day of his job, they brought him into the operating theater and asked him to observe a cat operation. And then they were removing the uterus of the cat. And then he was like, wow, when I saw it, I was like so excited and like, this is what I want to do in life. Then I was like, oh my God, don't throw this Jeffrey Dahmer thing on me, you know what I mean? Yeah. So then after that, this is really what he wanted to do. So this year, he actually quit his JC and then went to apply for a poly. Yeah. So internship changed his perception of it. So he didn't mind wasting that 1 year in JC to really pursue what he wanted. So just go and explore. You want to work in McDonald's, go and work for McDonald's. Who knows, maybe you end up as a data analyst for McDonald's, trying to figure out what Singaporeans like to eat. Yeah. Okay? Understand? Okay, but most importantly, choose what you like to do. I think most of the teachers here, you really choose what you like to do. Correct? Then it drives you to want to do it next time. Okay, so if you really want to be a gamer, go be a gamer. Just make sure that you are good at it. You want to be a YouTuber, go be a YouTuber, TikToker. Just make sure you are the best at what you can do. Because it's your passion, obviously you'll work harder for it. You want to be a chemist, sure, by all means, go and be a chemist also. You want to stay at home and be a bum also, can just be the best bum ever. Who knows, it may be popular also. Understand? Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay, then I'll pass to the next teacher who will actually do biology with you guys. If you all don't take physics, means you all take biology already. Yeah, very fair. Okay.
Hi everyone. If you all stay for physics, then I don't know why you're staying for bio, but okay, yes, please stay so you can hear me. Then I don't have to talk to online only. Hi everyone online. Okay. So I'll skip this. You're already familiar with me already. Okay. So I'll just jump straight into the content for bio. Okay. So wait, anyone here like plan to, because like y'all stay for physics, then y'all still stay for bio. So or just want to learn about the subject? I think so. Okay, so for bio, right, very interesting. I'm going to share with like what your in for like if you were to take bio. So what MOE does is that at a primary school level, they kind of plan this out already. Okay, so at a primary school level, right, y'all learn things in a very like systems, very like abstract perspective. Then when you go into secondary school, I think for those of you who take like triple science or bio, right, particularly, y'all know that at secondary school, you learn about like what nutrition, like body system, transport system, plants, stuff like that. So it's a very physiological level. Now, when we hit JC, right, as I said, same thing for GP, they're kind of preparing you for the workforce and for uni in particular. So for bio-wise, right, you'll learn things at a very what we call cellular and molecular level. You all hear the word molecular, right? Reminds you of chemistry already, right? So yes, you're right in that it's very things that you cannot see. Okay, it's a very very small level. Okay, but at the same time, you're learning what are the implications of this to society. How do you use all these like knowledge to apply into society? How do you use this technology in society? So this is kind of what bio is like at JC level. So when we talk about the H1, H2 syllabus, which most people do, okay, it's meant to be a continuation from your O-level bio syllabus. And by that, I don't mean that you need to remember everything from O-level, but it will be good too. Okay, so what they mean is that what you have learned, they will expand on that. Okay, so next thing, for those who are very strong in bio, okay, and you have an interest, really strong interest in research and just biology as a subject, right? Usually, most schools offer H3 bio also, but it's usually you need to go for a test or by invitation, okay? So what happens is that H3 bio syllabus, I don't teach it, okay, but having looked at the syllabus, I can tell you that what their goal is to further kind of prepare you for the skills and knowledge that you will need at uni level, okay? So most of the time, okay, I can tell you that the H3 bio content that they cover, most of it you will learn at uni when you choose the modules, if you pursue a science, like a bio degree at uni, okay? So now, the scheme of assessment wise, when it comes to exam, right, I think most of you very sharp. You all will know that this is literally exactly same as your physics or chemistry, right? You can see that for H1, you only have to take your paper 1 and paper 2, so multiple choice and structure. And then hence there's a bit bigger split between just these two. But when you talk about H2, right, it's a bit heavier. We have multiple choice structure and then 2 more additional components. Your paper 3, which is like very long structured application questions and the essay question. as well as your practical, okay, which you get to do experiment and then train your lab skills now. Okay, so I think this is the one that you guys are maybe looking out a bit more for. So what is the main difference between H1 Bio and H2 Bio? Now, I've highlighted the extra subjects that will be covered at H2 Bio, but let me just straight up say that these subjects, these topics at H2 level, right, are the ones that are really, really very molecular and things that you can't see, okay, at your JC level, you won't be able to see, okay, so it's kind of, it may feel a bit abstract to some of you, okay, as compared to secondary school bio, where let's say when we learn about digestion, you know like what the stomach looks like. I have videos to show you what stomach looks like, right? Okay. This is also not to say that the H1 bio topics are not molecular. They still are as well. It's just that H2, because it's a higher tool, they expect a bit more. So you deal with more very molecular levels. Okay. All right. Now, I think this is the part where then you should ask why or when should I take bio, right? First of all, if you like it or love it. Okay, so I'll tell you that I really like bio. I think it's super interesting, very cool, learning about diseases, viruses, bacteria, okay? Or if you hate or are bad at physics, okay? So if you feel like you're like me, okay, you're very bad at calculation, physics, all that, right? Okay, then this could be for you. So the most common combi, as you guys can tell, will be BCME or PCME. Okay, so as Pamela has shared, so the main difference being your biology or physics. Okay, so most often, right, you can see science cohort very big. Then you see that the bio cohort, I will usually say it's a bit smaller. And then physics, a lot of classes. Okay, not say a lot, but these two are the like competing ones. Okay, and then chemistry, everyone have to take. Okay, so for science, okay. So now when we talk about your uni application, right? So some courses require exclusively your biology. Okay, so in particular, the degree that I did, life sciences or biological sciences at NTU, they specifically mentioned that you need a good pass in H2 biology. Okay, H1 is not enough. Environmental studies, now this is for NUS, okay, what environmental studies is basically kind of a mix of geography and bio. So you'll learn stuff like your geography, like your human geography, okay, so you'll be learning about climate change and stuff like that, but also you'll be learning stuff if you're interested, for example, like marine biology, aquatic animals, stuff like that, environment stuff, okay, then what this means is that, okay, bio is not exactly needed in that sense, but if you do take H2 biology, you'll be exempted from a bridging course. Okay, so this bridging course is like a very introduction foundational bio course, bio module at uni. Okay, so once again, as I mentioned for GP just now, just remember to check and plan as you go through your your JC life. Okay, depending on what course you want to take in uni. All right, now the third point, okay, if you are not so good at calculation, okay, and you know you're very strong in writing and memory work, right? Okay, then maybe this is for you. Okay, so like for me, right, calculation, I really, really very bad. Okay, my math and chemistry were one of my not so good subjects, okay? But I was really strong with memorizing and I like to write and theory. Okay, so if you are strong with your memory and writing, okay, then bio could be for you. Okay, because the calculation I would say is like it takes up maybe if you do a percentage split, calculation takes up at most 20 to 30% in biology. The remaining 70 to 80% is really just memory work. As compared to your physics and chemistry, which is like, I would say either 50-50, right? You need to memorize, but as well, you need to practice with calculation. Okay. So last but not least is when you think about your future career, right? For those of you who plan to do bio, what are some options for you in the future? Well, first of all, you can talk about many of my friends who graduate with a bio degree, they're working as, for example, in healthcare, right? All your various hospitals, Tan Tock Seng, Khoo Teck Puat, all this, okay? They don't work as nurses. There's a difference. They work on the operations side. So it's more of like policy planning, public health, those kind of stuff. Okay, engaging the Singapore population with healthcare, or how do I activate you as an active patient, something like that. Okay. Alternatively, there are also bio workers who go into, for example, healthcare policy. Okay, so I don't mean insurance agent. Okay, that's a very different thing. Okay, but more of like policy healthcare consultants. Okay, so you work with clients one-to-one, discuss them like public health policies and stuff like that. Okay. Another one, pharmaceutical. Okay, so some of the bio degree holders, they go up to working in pharmaceutical companies. So I myself did an internship. If you guys know your Panadol, right? the brand, if you go and see, it's like GSK, right? So I did an internship there. All right. So when you talk about pharmaceutical research, you research about drugs, their effects, ingredients, what goes into making a drug, stuff like that. Be it online research, like just the backward paper end, okay, or it could also be lab research, that kind. Okay, and last but not least, what I mean by research over here, right, is that if let's say you have a very strong passion for like just being in the lab, you think it's very fun to play with like viruses, bacteria, and chemicals, right? Okay, then yeah, most people who go into bio as well, they can pursue a further master's or a PhD, can become professors and all that, or research assistants. So I have friends doing research projects on, for example, cancer. I have a few friends working on cancer. I have a few friends working on drugs, okay, drugs to treat cancer. I also have friends working on, for example, viruses, bacteria, COVID-19. So really a very wide range lah. Okay. Now, once again, okay, I'm actually offering H2 Bio, only H2 Bio. I'm sorry, I don't teach H1. Okay, so H2 Bio trial class for J1s. Okay, so if you feel that you need the extra help, you did not do well with biology in O-level, and you feel that you need the extra push, or you feel that the concepts in bio are a bit too abstract for you, okay, then yeah, you can feel free to sign up for my trial class. Unfortunately, I'm only opening one slot for my schedule, for one slot for the J1s, okay, so it'll be 11th of Feb, Saturday, 3 to 5 p.m. So because the class is a bit small, I've usually the 7-pack slot physical. I'm still considering whether to do a hybrid if the packs really gets quite big, if the demand is very high. Okay, and if there are enough signups, okay, I will convert this into a permanent class lah. Okay, so this will be like, the recurring time slot. Okay, so whether you should think about, okay, do I need this class or not? Okay, I think the main concerns about biology is that not that you will fail or anything, okay, but most students, what I've gotten feedback from, okay, from my ex-tutees and current tutees is that even though they understand the content, okay, when they go to the exam, they realize that they're writing the correct concepts, but they are not getting the marks. And that's why they are like failing or doing poorly. Okay, so it's not so much about, I don't know the content, but more of my answering technique is not good. Okay, and that is where most of the I will step in to help you guys. Okay, but yes, some of the concepts may also be a bit more complicated. So I'll be here to help break down, okay, a lot of these. My tuition style usually is very free and easy. Okay, I often do a lecture style as well as like participation. Okay, I will make sure to get everyone's cooperation and make sure that you recap all your concepts. Okay, because bio concepts, JC science in general, they go into very in-depth, okay, and it can get a bit daunting for many students, especially coming from O-level bio. Okay, so thank you so much. If there's any questions, I will be around outside. Okay, you can find me. Okay, now I'll be passing the time over to the humanities side. So I'll be passing to Guan Hua, who will be doing economics. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can find me. For GP or bio, you can find me outside lah. Yeah, okay. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, okay, hi everyone. We wait for a while. I think there are more people coming in. Okay, thanks for staying with us for the past quite long already, right? Okay, now of course the subject that concerns everyone, econs. Okay, I think most of you, a good 70% of you are actually taking econs, right? So let me share a bit of econs. Okay, I will introduce myself, but I just want to go straight to talking about econs and GP. Okay, I'll first start with econs and history. Okay, I'll start with the less popular one, which is history. Okay, for GC history, right? Okay, just to let you all know, there'll be two papers. Okay, one is called the international paper. The other one is actually a Southeast Asian paper. And the topics that you cover, right, are actually very relevant to the today's current world. So for O-level, those of you who did history, you'll study like very old topics, right? Like pre-1945. But for history at the A-levels, you are talking about 1945 all the way until 2000. So it's more like current day history. Let me just show you guys some, show everyone some photographs. Okay, for history, in case you're thinking whether you're missing on economic content, okay, 1/3 of the A-level history syllabus is on economic history. So you learn about the Asian financial crisis, you learn about oil crisis in the 1970s. Okay, so the oil rig over there. But also the other very big part of history is to learn about the Cold War and to learn about United Nations. So this is a very big part of the syllabus. And then you learn about Vietnam War, learn about other things like Korean War. Okay, so I just want to lay out to everyone that history is not just memorizing facts, but you must be able to write strong argument. You must be able to evaluate. You must be able to interpret sources. So O level, right? Your source base is structured, but for A level, okay, your source base is actually divided. In just two parts. Part A 10 marks, part B 30 marks. Okay, so the marks is a lot higher, right? Like one shot into 30-mark question. Okay, but of course with the right techniques, with the right skill set, I think most of you can master it after quite a few practices. So right, just to let everyone know that history is about understanding local, regional, and global issues. So you study about ASEAN, regional. You study about UN, which is global, right? And to learn how to apply those concepts when you analyze historical events. So let me just show everyone the breakdown. In terms of the breakdown, you have two papers. Paper 1, source base, right? Cold War is 20% of overall grade. So for H2, you will do paper 1 and paper 2. H1 student will only do paper 1. Cold War, okay, imagine 45 to 2000, it's quite a long period of history. It's to 1991, 45 to 91, you'll study Cold War. Then part B will be your essays. You'll be writing two essays, 4 essay questions. Okay, 2 choose 1 for team 2, 2 choose 1 for team 3. Now, if you look at this syllabus, for paper 1, there are 3 main themes that you must study. Cold War is tested for source base. Global economy and conflict and cooperation is tested for essay. Conflict and cooperation is mainly about United Nations and conflict in the world. Okay, United Nations from 1945 to 2000. Now, part B. Okay, part B about Southeast Asia. Now, there won't be any country-specific question. So A-level questions are broad. For instance, they can ask you, what were the main reasons for a political instability in Southeast Asia? So they won't ask you about Singapore, Vietnam, or Indonesia alone, but the question will be broad enough for you to bring in different case studies. Okay, so just think about that. You'll get a compulsory question on conflict and cooperation, which is about ASEAN and interstate tension. Okay, then you talk about 2 essay questions. Okay, let me just show you. Like what I mentioned, 1/3 of your paper is on economic. Okay, so the economic change after independence, which talk about the economic development of Southeast Asia, leading to the Asian financial crisis. And of course, we'll talk about the formation of nation state. Okay, just to let everyone know, okay, I know we are running short of time, so I'll just go straight to the point. History is not a prerequisite for any university course. It's not. But the advantage of doing history is that it will help you in writing courses or courses that require you to do a lot of communication and a lot of argumentation. If you love studying about politics, economy, you love historical debate, you love studying about government, Cold War, history is for you. Okay? History will give you a very big advantage in certain university courses. Law requires a lot of writing, requires you to have very good, very clear understanding of what is the good evidence. Law requires you to understand different perspectives and to craft a strong argument. So history will be good for law. Similarly, when you talk about journalism, media related, okay, being able to communicate clearly is very important for history, for journalism, for other things. And of course, art and social sciences, right? Future careers, so some of my friends end up in public service, some of them end up being diplomats, okay, because when you study history, a lot of them went on to uni to study history and even political science. Some end up doing politics, philosophy, economics, right, PPE. So there's quite a lot of things you can do. A lot of them end up being lawyers. So you can just consider this as a possible subject. Okay, now to the most popular subject, economics. Okay, I know like everyone here, thanks for waiting. Okay, I know you'll be waiting. I see like so quite a number of participants. In terms of JC economics, it's the most popular subject, right? I think many of you, maybe your parents keep nagging at you, telling you like economics is very popular. Economics is very pragmatic. You want to work in a bank, you want to do a business, you better know economics. Okay, let me just debunk some myths for economics. Okay, economics is not business study. It's really quite different. Economics, right, is divided into 2 parts. One is microeconomics The other part is macroeconomics. Microeconomics focuses on understanding firms and individual behavior on a smaller scale, firms and individual. Macro is talking about the wider economy. So you learn about the 4 macro growth goals, okay, like sustained economic growth, low unemployment, low and stable inflation, and of course a healthy balance of payment. So it's quite a bit technical, okay, but you learn about the broader economy. You must know about Singapore. You must know about the other world, the other countries in the world. It's not just about Singapore, but you must know what's happening in China, US, Japan, and you must know about trade. So A-level is very broad. It's really very broad. Okay, university will zoom into the individual topic. A-level is still quite broad. You'll be understanding a lot of concepts. So can I just tell everyone first that economics is not about memorization. You can memorize all you want, but you might not even score well for the A-level paper, because in the economic exam, you're supposed to analyze the case study and do a case study, and you're supposed to write 3 essays for H2 economics. So it means you must be able to write. You do not need good English. Okay, it's not, they won't test you on linguistic ability, but you need to be able to apply the economic concept and, more importantly, evaluate. It's about evaluation, right? So let's look at the aim of syllabus. Okay, so to do well for econs, you must understand your concept well. You must know your theories. You must know your principles. Then you must use these tools and method of economic reasoning. So basically, right, in evaluation, you must evaluate, right? But it's not any random evaluation. It's really looking at different economic framework and thinking how to apply it. Okay, the closer I can think of is in geography when you do a data response kind of question. Okay, you also need to understand certain geographical concept and apply it to a case study. So it's very similar in economics. And you must learn to understand the perspective of government, individuals, businesses, society. You must be able to read a wide range of sources. So of course you'll be trained. Okay, overmark. Okay, the tutors will train you to look at different sources because you are tested there for A-levels. They give you different extracts. They're quite long. It's not like your O-level social studies. Your source base is only like 200 words, right? It's a bit longer, but your tutors at overmark will teach you how to look at them in detail, how to analyze them, then how to apply it to various to answer the question. And of course, you might be able to make well-reasoned economic argument in the most rational manner possible. Be able to evaluate, be able to write. Okay, knowledge, understanding, very important. Understand your concept. If you do not know, always read up, read ahead, think ahead. Okay, the tutors have overmarked will of course go through you some very simple ways to understand economic concept. So they are difficult, but of course, we try our best to make it as easy as possible to everyone here. Being able to interpret information is very important because this is 40% of your A-level paper for H2. Okay, in the data, you see a lot of data in your case study questions. Application. It's not just about understanding concept. It's not about memorization, but applying the real-world concept. So nowadays, the papers, right, okay, are situated in a real-world context, like inflation in Singapore, COVID-19 supply chain disruption. How does it affect the market? These are the kind of questions that you might be tested for A-levels. Evaluation I mentioned is about critically analyzing different explanation and perspective and make a good argument. This is very small, but don't worry, we'll send out a PDF. In terms of H2, 40% of marks come from case study. You'll be given 2 case studies. Each case study is about 30 marks. 12 marks will be kind of like data response kind of question. They're quite easy to score. Okay, most students who are trained by overmarked tutors actually get close to full mark for it because it's really the part that you can control. For the 18 marks, the higher order questions, you must be able to come up with a very clear methodology, a very clear understanding of how to evaluate. So of course, this requires multiple practice. We require very good training for you to be able to handle the case study. For H1 student, 100% of your marks will come from case study. Okay, so just to note, for H1, you do not have essays, but the case study is really, really important. You have to focus on that. For paper 2, okay, you'll be tested on essays. So H2 students will be given 2 sections. Section A is on microeconomics. Section B is on macroeconomics. You'll be given 3 questions for each section. You must do at least 1 question from each section. And of course, the other question, your third question, you can choose the topic that you're strong at. You know you're good in micro, you can do 2 micro questions and 1 macro question. If you're stronger in macro, then do 2 macro questions, right? Let me just show you some things that you all can think about. Okay, you all know I went through the pandemic, 2021, 2022, housing prices shot out. There's inflation, food price went up, gas price went up, inflation. So in economics, right, they'll help you to understand, right, using economic reasoning to understand why are we having this inflation, right? COVID-19, supply chain disruption, what does it mean in economic terms? So you must be able to explain that. And one very practical way to apply economics to your life, which I do it consistently, I actually invest my money in the stock market. This is not my portfolio, I'm just showing you an example. But there is study that shows that you invest $10,000 per year from 2000 to 2017. Okay, assuming you increase your investment amount by 4%, by 2017, just by investing 10,000, in about 17 years, you have built your savings, your investment to $500,000. In fact, slightly more than $500,000. In economics, right, you understand how firms behave. You understand things like the macroeconomic environment, like inflation. Do you know the best stocks to invest in are actually oil companies because oil price went already up, right? So personally, obviously, I bought some oil stocks because I know that they'll go up in price. So these are quite real world applications that goes beyond your studies. Okay, so just some of the things that we do in class is we show students how to apply it to real world, right? This is just a framework for disciplinary thinking. Due to a lack of time, I won't go into details. They are in your PDF file. But generally speaking, when we talk about economics, you think about firms' behavior, producers, consumers, government. How do they make decisions? How do they weigh benefit and cost? How do they understand trade-off? How do they know about things like the information available to them and what to do with it? So these are some things you learn in economics in both micro and also even in the macro level. In terms of content, this is just a very quick summary. Of course, you can go to the A-level website to look at it in greater detail, but you learn about central problem of economics, demand and supply. And you learn about something called elasticity. Okay, a bit complicated, but your teacher will teach it in class. You learn about what happens when there's market failure, when market fails. For instance, okay, the market for cigarette is considered a demerit good, it's harmful, right? So if market have them, there's something called market failure. Then, of course, your job as an economist is to think of policies to deal with this kind of market failure. So your economic reasoning will teach you how to tackle the problem of, let's say, pollution, of, let's say, traffic congestion, or even smoking in Singapore, for instance, right? Come up with different solutions. You learn about market. So those of you who love business, right? We teach you about how the monopoly behave. How does oligopolies behave, right? Oligopoly refers to a few large firms, right? How do these firms behave? How do they make profit? So this is a part where market understanding will help you. And of course, at a macro level, your teacher will teach you about the 4 macro goals, right? Sustained economic growth, low inflation, low and stable inflation, unemployment, okay, low unemployment, and of course, healthy balance of payment surplus. These are some concepts that your schools will teach you. You learn about trade, right? What is it Singapore sells semiconductors to other countries? Why is it that we import certain items, right? What must we do to make our trade surplus healthy? So this is some concept that your schools will teach you. So it's quite helpful to learn about econs because you have to understand current affairs, how to understand how we build a strong economy in Singapore. Why should you do econs? Well, you love studying about the economy, you want to understand how money supply is created, you want to know about current affairs, you want to learn about businesses, you want to learn about how government make decision, right? Government making decision is actually a lot of economic reasoning. Economic is a very huge advantage. You're applying for PhD scholarship, right? You want to go for government scholarship, you know how to reason, how to think of cost-benefit analysis. You know how to think of different policies and know what is best for Singapore. In the economic sense, right? You will be an advantage when you apply for government scholarship. If you want to go business school, do finance, do marketing, it's a lot of economics. Law, in fact, now there's like double degree in law and economics, very common, because it's about making good argument at the end of the day. Do consider career in banking, law, public service, businesses. Economic reasoning will help you. Okay, it makes you sound more intelligent, you make more clear and rational judgment in certain business decision or even policy decision that you're making. How to do well in econs? The tutors at Overmark are very committed to making sure that everyone here have regular practice, right? They expose you to a wide range of contexts, teach you how to make sound analysis, they explain concept in a very clear and easy manner. They give out free notes, okay? So you all can look through the notes for revision quite regularly. They give you a wide range of examples. they help understand global and Singapore economy well. So just going straight to the point, at Overmark, the trial date for economics on 24th Feb, 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, it's a hybrid session is offered, so you can consider a Zoom class if you cannot come over to our physical center at Bukit Timah. This is a basic introduction. It's a fun lesson. And there will also be exam tips to teach you how to do well, how to score an A for econs, right? So these are very good strategies to be taught to everyone, and you'll go away with a free set of notes that will help you in your future revision. Okay, so that's all. I know we overrun a little bit. I'm just going to pass the time now to Teacher Dixon, where he will share about JC Geography.
Okay, sorry. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Dixon. I went to NUS and I studied business and geography. So I did like a double, yeah. So I think many of you must be thinking like, why do you take geography and how will it be helpful? Well, I think it helped me get all these internship. So I did law, I did teaching, I did banking, I did sales and marketing. And I can honestly tell you that today, I still don't know what I really want to do. But it's a journey, and geography was really, really helpful in helping me like convey my ideas and communicate with like people in a clearer way, right? So after graduating from university, I joined the Foreign Service. So I think y'all don't really know what is it, but basically we are diplomats, so we represent Singapore in the international arena. Yeah, but then shortly after I left to be a data analyst in a big tech company, and then I'm here. Yeah, so these are some famous people. I mean, on the left, they are famous. So that's Michael Jordan. He plays basketball, right? And below is Prince William or Prince Charles, one of the prince in the UK. And that's Margaret Thatcher from the UK as well. So these people did geography in university. Then over here, this is my friend. So she was from VJ. She also did H2 Geog, and she's in NUS Medicine now. So if you want to go to Med and Law, this is my friend who is in law, NUS Law as well. He did Geog in pre-U. So doesn't mean that Geog will limit you. Like you can do medicine, you can do law as well. So just follow your heart. Okay, so this is the difference between H1 and H2 geography. They are different in terms of just one theme. Okay, but within each theme, you got like the subtopics lah. Okay, so and the difference is you will sit for one additional paper, which is 3 hours more. And this is the mark lah. But they will like prorate it to make sure that it is out of 100 at the end of the day. Okay. Yeah, so for H1 geography, you only have one paper and they are broken down into these parts. So the section A and B, right, over here you see it's just your GRQ, which you have done in O levels, as well as your essay, which you also have done in O levels, but now the marks is a lot more. Okay, but for H2, you have paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 is purely DRQs. So it's very easy to score because you are quite familiar with it, right? Paper 2, it's a lot of essays, but don't worry because my job over here is to help you score over here. I will give you all the essays, all the case studies that you need, and consolidate the case studies like which maybe your school might not have done for you. So I think how I value add to you is by cutting down the time you spend on revision. Yeah, so I think a lot of people will find this very helpful. I've been teaching this for like 5 years, and I can say it's 100% distinction for H1, H2, right? Because this really saves you a lot of time. Like when I give you the stuff lah. Okay, so you can go and play, do your CCA, whatever. And my job is to help you with all these essays. Yeah, okay. So if you have taken Geog in O levels, this is a comparison table. So you might be very familiar with GI, right? So you'll still continue doing GI in H1 and H2. And then after that, weather and climate as well as climate change is a big topic throughout H1 and H2 as well. Okay. If you took pure Geog, you have learned coasts as well as fluvial processes. This will be applicable to H1, but the rest is like new stuff lah. Okay, and honestly, if you look right, I know it's a lot of content, but I think you'll have a lot of fun learning the content in geography. Yeah, it's very fun lah, honestly. It might be a bit painful to memorize them for the exam, but I think even if you were to take history and econs, it's the same. I took econs also lah. Okay, I took arts. I took GLM. Yeah, so I'm very familiar with the memory work. Okay, so if you're interested, you can come for a trial lesson next Sunday as well as the following Sunday. It's at 1 to 3 p.m. over here. If you cannot make it for any of these sessions, you can contact the admin and we can arrange a separate time. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's all. So if you have any question, you can ask us now. Okay. But yeah, that's the end. Thank you for staying. You can take your goodie bag and your food. You got what to share? Go see. Okay, thank you.
Oh, no, nobody. Okay.
All right. Thanks everyone for taking time. I know it's very late. Okay, have a good day and feel free to go to our Overmark website anytime. Right. There are free notes there. The other thing for you to take a look. Do follow us on Telegram. Okay, so we're just going to call the session to an end.